Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to go through a 2019 prelim maths paper. Okay, so let's get into the paper. Okay, this first question is a paper 1 question. Question 26. Jake's mass is 4/7 of Lionel's mass. Matthew's mass is 5 out of 8 of Jake's mass. What is the ratio of Jake's mass to Lionel's mass to Matthew's mass? Okay, so from the first sentence, Jake's mass is 4/7 of Lionel's mass. We have to realize what is the ratio of the mass of Jake is to Lionel. It will be 4:7. Okay, same thing from the next sentence. We got to know that the ratio of the mass of Matthew is to Jake will be 5:8. So in this case, the common subject would be Jake. Okay, but over here is 8 units and over here is 4 units, which means that we're going to make them the same by multiplying this ratio by 2. Okay, so it's going to become 8:14, which means that the answer of Jake is to Lionel is to Matthew, okay, will be 8:14:5. Okay, this will be the answer for question 26. Question 29. The figure below is made up of 4 identical right-angled triangles. The shorter side of each triangle is 6 cm. The shorter side would be this side over here. And the perimeter of each triangle is 32 cm. Find the perimeter of each figure. Okay, so in this question, I'm going to draw the triangles of each one of them. I'm going to draw slightly out, so this triangle will be here. Okay, like this, so we know that this is 32. I'm going to change the color slightly for this one. Okay, this will be 32, and let me use a black for maybe I'll use a yellow and green. Yellow is a bit harder to see, but sure you can see it. Okay, this will be another 32, and I need a green color for the next triangle. Okay, this will also be another 32, but if you realize that the perimeter, okay, the perimeter basically excludes the inside. Okay, the perimeter of the figure would be something like this. Now the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna find what is the total perimeter of the 4 triangles, okay, which will be 32 times 4. Do your working, 812. Okay, so it's equals to 128 cm. Next, as you can see, I'm going to remove away whatever that is inside, and there is 8 of them, so I need to do 6 times 8, which is equals to 48. Okay, the last step will be to use 128 minus 48. Okay, so if you remember just now, 128 minus 48 will be something like me erasing away, okay, the middle lines over here. Okay, when you erase away the middle lines, you're gonna get the perimeter, which is the outline that's gonna be like this. Okay, so 128 minus 48 will give you 80 cm. Okay, so 80 cm is the answer. Okay, let's move on to the question 2 of paper 2. Box A, when empty, has a mass of 1.8 kg. It has a mass of 21.4 kg when it contains 8 identical packets of flour and 6 identical packets of salt. Each packet of flour has a mass of 2 kg and 60 gram. What is the mass of each packet of salt? Give your answers in kilogram. Okay, so box A is equals to 1.8 kg. It has a mass of 21.4 kg when it contains 8 identical packets of flour and 6 identical packets of salt, which means that box A plus 8 packets of flour plus 6 packets of salt, okay, will be equal to 21.4 kg. Each packet of flour has a mass of 2 kg and 60 gram. So we need to know that 2 kg and 60 gram is equals to 2.06 kg. Okay, now I'm gonna convert. We know that this is 1.8 kg. Okay, this would be 8 times 2.06. So I'm gonna do the working. No, I just need to key into my calculator. Okay, 2.06 times 8. So each 8 packets of flour will be 16.48 kg. Okay, plus 6 packets of salt. That will be equal to 21.4. Okay, which means that 6 packets of salt is basically 21.4 minus 16.48 minus 1.8. Okay, that will give me 3.12. Okay, so what's the mass of each packet of salt? It will be 3.12 divided by 6. Okay, that will be 1 packet of salt would be 0.52 kg. Okay, give your answers in kilogram. 0.52 kilogram. Question 3. In the figure, AOB, EOD, and DOC are equilateral triangles. AE is equals to BC. Find the angle of ABC, which is already marked. Okay, so AOB, let's this is equilateral triangle. EOD. Can DOC are equilateral triangles. Okay, so which means that it's all this is 60, 60, and this is 60. Okay, AE is equals to BC, so AE equals to BC. Okay, the first thing that we're gonna realize is we already know that this is 60. So we need to try and find this part over here. Okay, these two angles over here are the same, which means that if I were to use 360 minus the 360, the 360 will give me 180, and I divide it by 2, I'm gonna get a 90 degree. Okay, so I know that this is 90, but what I want is this is 90. Okay, and BOC is an isosceles triangle, which means that you just have to use 180 minus 90 and divided by 2, you will get 45. Okay, this is 45 degrees, so total will be 60 plus 45, which is 105 degree. Okay, this question 4, there's some problem because the question doesn't show what is the shaded area. Okay, so I'm going to skip this question 4. Question 5, a piece of paper in the shape of a rhombus okay, is folded along the dotted line as shown. Find the angle Y. Okay, so in this case, we know that this is 80, which means that this over here is also 80. Okay, we can find this angle over here by using because this is an isosceles triangle. Okay, 180 minus 80 divided by 2 will give me 50. Okay, so this is 50. When you fold it up, right, these two angles will become the same, which means that 50 divided by 2, this will be 25. Okay, so to find angle Y, I just need to use 180 minus 80 minus 25. Okay, that's gonna give me 75 degree. Question 6, in the square grid, W, X and X, Y are two sides of a trapezium. WX is parallel to ZY, so I suppose Z is somewhere along the other side. And WX is twice the length of ZY. Complete the drawing of trapezium WXYZ. WXYZ, Z will be somewhere here. Okay, if I were to draw a parallelogram, it's gonna look something like this, right? Okay, but the thing is that WX is twice the length of ZY, so which means that if it is twice, right, it will be the midpoint will be somewhere here. So I need to draw from here to here. Okay, then I'm gonna connect to here. So this point will be the Z. Okay, measure and write down the size of angle XWZ. I can't do that over here, so I'm gonna skip part B. Question 7, the graph below shows the number of students in 5 different schools in 2019. The number of students is not drawn on the scale. Okay, so we do not have the number, but we do have the markings over here. Okay, the same data is partially shown in the pie chart below, so pie chart is not tested this year. I'm still going to go through this question. Part A, the total enrollment of 2 of the schools is equal to the enrollment of AMK View School. Which 2 schools are these? Okay, I'm going to write down in terms of units, so I'm going to treat this as 1 unit. So AMK View will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Thompson will be 1, 2, 3, 4.5, so 4.5 units. Bishan will be 1.5. Siming will be 3 units. McRitchie will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Okay, the total enrollment of 2 schools is equal to the enrollment of AMK, so AMK is 6 units. So which 2 of them adds up to become 6 units? It will be Thompson and Bishan. Okay, Thompson plus Bishan will be equal to 6 units. Part B, how many students are there in McRitchie School? Okay, we do have some numbers over here in the pie chart. So I'm gonna let 3 units for the Xingming. Okay, 3 units is equals to 450. So I know that 1 unit is 150. Marriage with 5 units, so you'll be 150 times 5. It's gonna give me 750. Okay, so that is the answer for part B. Okay, question 8. For identical circles, each of radius 16 cm are touching each other as shown below. The dotted lines are the dotted lines join the center of the circles to form a square. Find the area of the shaded part. Okay, in this case, the area of the shaded part is actually the shaded part is this part over here. So I'm going to shade it up here. Okay. So in order to solve this question, we need to find the area of the square. Okay, minus away the area of the 4 quarter circles, and we know that the 4 quarter circles, okay, is equals to the area of 1 full circle, right? So this 1, 2, 3, 4 quarter circle, okay, is equals to 1 full circle. So the area of the square will be the radius is 16, so this is 16, 16, which means that it will be 32 square, or 32 times 32. So 1024. Okay, area of the full circle will be pi r square, so pi times 16 square, which is 3.14 times 16 square. It will be 803.84. Okay, so that means area of the shaded part will be 1024 minus away the 803.84, which will be equal to 8220.16 cm square. Okay, question 9. Pete and Dave started driving at the same time from the same place but in the opposite direction along a straight road. So after 3 hours, they were 510.3 km apart. Pete's average speed was 11.2 km per hour faster than Dave's average speed. What was Dave's average speed? So in this case, they start at the same point. Okay, they're gonna move away from each other. Pete and Dave. Okay, so after 3 hours, they are 510.3 km apart. Okay, so given the distance between them and the total time taken, so we can find what is their total speed. Okay, their total speed will be the distance between them divided by the total divided by the time taken. So 510.3 divided by 3 will give me a 170.1 km per hour. Okay, so Pete's average speed was 11.2 km per hour faster than Dave. So this part You just need to draw, if you don't know what's happening, you can draw a simple model. Pete and Dave, okay, 11.2. And we know that the total is 170.1. Okay, so to find Dave's average speed, we need to use 170.1 minus away the 11.2 and divided by 2. Okay, that will be 79.45 kilometer per hour. Question 10. At the home appliance warehouse sale, Mr. Chua bought a vacuum cleaner and washing machine for a total of 2,980 after discount. He paid $464 more for the washing machine than the vacuum cleaner. Find the percentage discount given for the vacuum cleaner. Okay, so we're gonna draw a simple model for this. Vacuum cleaner and washing machine. He paid more for the washing machine. 464. A vacuum cleaner, and total will be 2980. So I want to find what is the amount paid for the vacuum cleaner first. So I'm gonna use 2980 minus 464 divided by 2. That's gonna give me 1,258. Okay, if you look at the chart over here, the usual price is 1,480. So for part A, to find the percentage discount, we need to find the amount discounted, which is 1480 minus 1258. It's 222. So to find the percentage discount, we need to use the amount discounted over the original price and then multiply by 100. Okay, 2 divided by 1480 times 100 is gonna give me 15%. Okay, this is the answer for part A. Okay, part B, find the usual price of the washing machine. Okay, so we're gonna find out how much was spent on the washing machine. It'll be 1,258. Okay, plus 464. That's gonna give me $1,722. So there is a 20% discount, which means that 80% is equals to 1,722. So if I want to find what is the usual price, I just need to use a 1,722 over 80 times 100. Okay, that would be $2,152.50. Okay, this is the answer for part B. Question 11. The number of boys and girls in the hall was in the ratio of 4:5. After 170 boys and 20% of the girls went back to their classrooms, the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls in the hall became 1:2. How many children were there in the hall at first? Okay, so for the ratio of the boys is to the girls is 4:5. This is at first. Okay, after 170 boys, which means that the boys would be minus 170. Okay, and 20% of the girls, so the girls will be minus 20%. Okay, the ratio of the number of boys to the number of girls became 1:2. So this is in the end. Okay, so the first thing that we can find is basically over here. If you were to minus, if 20% of the girls went back to the classroom, it means that 80% of the girls were left behind. So we can find what is 80% of 5 units. Okay, that would be 80 over 100 times 5. Okay, which is going to give me 4 units. Which means that after 20% of the girls went back to the classroom, okay, there should be 4 units left. But in this case, the ratio at the end is 1:2, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna multiply this ratio by 2. So it becomes 2:4. Okay, now it is the same, 4 units for the number of girls. Okay, which means that if now we look at the boys, okay, for the boys, at first there's 4 units. Okay, after 170 left, it became 2 units, right? Which means that 2 units is equals to 170, and I know that 1 unit will be equal to 170 divided by 2, and that's 85. Okay, the question is asking me to find how many children were there in the hall. Okay, in the end there is 6 units, right? So I'm gonna find what is 6 units will be 85 times 6, which is 510. Okay, question 12. Eddie sold phone cards during a part-time holiday job. For every phone card sold, he would receive 60 cents. For every 20 phone cards sold, he would receive an additional of $4.50. Part A, how much did he receive after selling 20 phone cards? Okay, so we're gonna find out like for the first 20 phone cards, okay, if he's gonna receive 60 cents, 0.6 times 20 will give me $12. Okay, apart from this $12, he's gonna receive an addition of $4.50. So altogether, he's gonna earn $16.50. Okay, this is for selling 20 phone cards. So this is the answer for part A. Part B, how many phone cards did Eddie need to sell to receive at least $150? So we know that 20 phone cards is $16.50. This is the phone cards for one group. Okay, one group will be $16.50. So we're gonna try and find out how many groups are there. Sorry, I dropped my calculator. $850 divided by $16.50. That will give me 9.090 and so on. Okay, so we know that the nearest would be nine groups. Okay, so the next step that I'm gonna do is I will use 9 times 16.50. Okay, it's gonna be $148.50. Okay, which means that he needs to earn another $1.50. Oh, sorry, $1.50. Okay, if you remember, one phone card is 60 cents, right? Okay, so he will need to sell at least 3 phone cards, would be $1.80. Okay, so he will need to sell at least 3 more phone cards to receive at least $150. So the total number of phone cards will be 3 plus another 20 times 9. Okay, because there are 9 groups. So it will be 20 times 9 because each group will have 20, and then I'm gonna plus another 3. Okay, 20 times 9 plus 3 will be 183. This will be the answer for this question. Part A is $16.50 and 183. Question 13. A rectangular tank measures 60 cm by 30 cm by 34 cm. It is divided into 2 parts by a piece of plastic PQRS. So it will be this thing over here in the middle. Okay, PQRS is 2 cm thick. One part of the container contains water to a depth of 31 cm. Okay, it doesn't matter which part of it because both sides are equal of 29 cm, 29 cm. When the piece of plastic PQRS is removed, what is the height of the water level in the tank? Give your answer to 1 decimal place. Okay, so we're gonna first find what is the volume of water. Okay, the volume of water will be 31 times 29 times 30. Okay, 26970 cubic cm. In the second step, we're gonna find what is the base area of the whole tank. Okay, the base area of the whole tank would be 60 times 30. $1,800. So the third step, if you want to find the height of the water level in the tank after the plastic is removed, we're gonna use the volume of the water. It divided by the base area. So 26970 divided by 1800 is gonna give me 14.98333 and so on centimeter. So I need to round it off to 1 decimal place. 1 decimal place will be 15.0 centimeter. Okay, question 14. In the figure, RST is a square. Okay, TU is equal to TP. Okay, so these two are the same. RQS. RQS is 103, is already marked out. So I need to find what is PTU. PTU is here. Okay, that means I need to find this angle over here. Let's try to find whatever that we can. Okay, I know that this is 45, and I know that this whole thing is 45. Okay, so this is also 103 because of vertically opposite angles. Okay, I know that this angle over here is 180 minus 103 minus 45. Okay, so this is angle RSQ. Okay, so 90 minus 32 is 58. This is an angle ESQ. Okay, what else can I find? Okay, this is 45. Oh, okay, so TU equals to TP and TP is equal to ES. Okay, so we know that triangle TPS is an isosceles triangle. Okay, which means that I know this is also 58. Okay, once I know that this is 58, then I can find what is angle PTQ is 180 minus 103 minus 58. Gonna be 19, so this angle over here is 19. Okay, which means that I can find ETU. ETU is equals to 45 minus 19. Okay, which is 26 degrees. Question 15. Three girls had 144 sweets altogether. Eileen gave some of her sweets to Betty, and Betty's sweets were doubled. Then Betty gave some of her sweets to Katie, and Katie's sweets were doubled. As a result, the three girls had an equal number of sweets each. How many sweets did Betty have at first? Okay, so this type of question is a working backwards question. So we're gonna start off at the very end. Okay, the three girls have an equal number of sweets, right? So I'm going to draw A, B, and C. Equal amount. Okay, so I'm going to work backwards. The next part would be Betty gave some of her sweets to Katie, and Katie's sweets were doubled. So now I'm going to give it back to Betty. I'm going to cut this into half, so the rest I'm also going to cut it into half. And this part is going to return to Betty. Okay, so this is the next. Okay, Eileen will remain as 2 units. Okay, so Betty, after taking back that 1 unit, will now have 3 units. And Katie will be left with 1 unit. Okay, so we're gonna work backwards again. Eileen gave some of her sweets to Betty, and Betty's sweets were doubled. Okay, so now I need to return half of Betty's sweets to Eileen. Okay, if I cut this into half, that means everything else I need to cut into half. Okay, so this is the part that needs to be returned. Okay, so at first, I'm not gonna draw the model anymore because drawing model is very time consuming. So I'm gonna treat this as the 1 unit. Okay, Eileen will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. Betty will have 3 units. Katie will have 2 units. Okay, and if you remember, they have 144 sweets at first. Okay, so to find how many sweets did Betty have at first, now we're gonna find the total units. Okay, the total units will be 7 plus 3 plus 2 will be 12 units is equals to 144. 1 unit will be equal to 12, and Betty will have 3 units, which is 36 at first. Question 16. The figures in the pattern below are made out of dots. Okay, so figure 1 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Figure 2 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And figure 3 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, how many dots are required to form figure 5? In this case, it's better that we figure out what is the pattern first. I'm gonna draw the pattern out. So in this case, the pattern is like this. Okay, you can see that there's always 2 circles by the side. Okay, so if you were to use the total minus 2, you're gonna get 3, 6, 9. Okay, which is basically a 3 timetable. Figure 1, figure 2, figure 3. That means 1 times 3, 2 times 3, and 3 times 3. So which means that if you want to find out how many dots are required to find figure 5, right? The first thing you need to do is 5 times 3, okay, which is 15. And then the next step will be 15 plus 2, which is 17. Okay, so this is the answer for part A. Part B, write down the number of dots in figure 50. So for part B, we're going to follow the same formula. First, we're going to use the figure number multiplied by 3. Okay, then after that, we're going to use the 152 plus 2. It will be 152. Okay, which figure has 269 dots? So in order to do part C, we're just going to do the reverse, right? The first step we will multiply by 3 and the next step we will plus 2. So in the reverse, we're going to minus away the 2 dots first. Okay, this will give me 267. And then the next step will be 267 divided by 3. It's gonna be 89. Okay, so the last one will be figure 89. (17), 152, and figure 89. Question 17. Mr. Sim sold some tennis rackets and badminton rackets for $1,743. Each racket costs $273 and each badminton costs 3/7 as much as the tennis racket. 2/5 of the rackets sold were tennis rackets. Okay, so for part A, how much did each badminton racket cost? Okay, if the tennis racket is equals to $273 and the badminton racket costs 3/7 as much, that means I need to find what is 3/7 of $273, okay? Okay, that would be $117. This is the answer for part A. Part B, how many badminton rackets were sold? Okay, so in this case, I'm gonna do the grouping method. I'm gonna write the working here. Let's write down what is the ratio of the rackets is to 10. What is the ratio of the tennis racket? Wait, let me read the last part first. 2/5 of the rackets sold were tennis racket, which means that tennis racket is to badminton racket will be 2:3. Okay, so we're gonna figure out one group is how much. Okay, let's treat one group as exactly 2 tennis racket and 3 badminton racket. Okay, so we'll have to use 2 times 273, okay, plus 3 times 117. Okay, this will be equal to 2 times this plus 3 times 117, $897. Okay, we're gonna find out how many groups are there by using 17043 divided by 897. 17043 divided by 897 will be 19 groups. Okay, so how many badminton rackets were sold? So if you remember, in each group there's 3 badminton rackets, so it'll be 19 times 3. Okay, 57. So 57 badminton rackets were sold.